This week on the Digital Coffee, Google are going to introduce free Google Shopping for all businesses. You'll be able to go live to Instagram and Facebook at the same time, and LinkedIn is introducing polls. All that and more after this. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb, and we've got loads of news for you today. Facebook have rolled back, have decided that actually they're not going to make you use campaign budget optimization for your ads. What I hear you say, what are you even talking about, Amanda? Well, you may remember, I think it was about 6 weeks ago, we had Charlie Lawrence record a segment for us when we were at Social Media Marketing World. He's a Facebook ads expert, and he was talking about the fact that finally Facebook were going to make us use campaign budget optimization. And this means that you will no longer be able to set, when you're setting up Facebook ads, you'll no longer be able to set the budget at ad set level where you would have traditionally set it. You'd have to set it at campaign level. Now, they decided this like over a year ago. And instantly they said they were going to do this. I started transferring everything onto CBO because I knew that it was coming and I needed to learn it. This week they've decided they're not going to make us use CBO after all. Apparently, advertisers were not happy. We're not happy with this. So I am kind of pleased. I'm pleased I've got the choice. I'm a little bit annoyed I spent all that time learning it, but I'm pleased I've got the choice because there are times when campaign budget optimization, CBO, is better and times when Facebook ad set budgeting is better. For example, if you wanted to run your Facebook ads and you wanted to make sure that Facebook showed them to the story placements, so your Instagram stories, your Facebook stories. Traditionally, you would run an ad set that targeted the stories placements, and you'd run a second ad set within the same campaign that would target the newsfeed placements. If you use CBO, Facebook artificial intelligence would actually try and decide who it was going to show which part of your budget, how much budget it was going to spend on each of those ad sets, which is great until you start looking at your statistics and realize that even though Facebook isn't showing it in stories, when it does, it's converting even better. So under CBO, you'd have had to create a new campaign with ad set budgeting. You can set the ad budget at each level. So it's good for that. It's great for that. If you want to split test like that, or if you want to force Facebook to show to a particular audience or placement, it's good. Campaign budget optimization is good when you want Facebook to do the work. So if you've got two warm audiences, maybe you've got a website custom audience and a Facebook engagement audience, you can just set your campaign budget optimization, set your objective as conversions, and Facebook will use the audience that converts the best, that it knows will convert the best. Instagram has gone sticker mad recently, hasn't it? And they're testing yet another new sticker that could be good for small businesses. It's called something really complicated. It is called Share Professional sticker, and let's get it up on screen. This is one that was discovered by reverse engineer Manchun Wong. I did actually go on the internet to try and find out how to pronounce her name this week, and I still couldn't find the information, so apologies, Jane. Here you go. This is what it's going to look like. If, depending what size of screen you're looking at it on, it's right in the middle there. It's Share Professional. And when you do that, it creates that middle image. So it's a little square. You type in the name of the person that you want to talk about, and it brings in 3 images from their Instagram feed. This is cool. I like this. This is a great way for us as businesses to give shout outs to other businesses that maybe our target market will appreciate, that share our target market. So giving shout outs, maybe follow Fridays, it's a fabulous way to kind of build those relationships, to offer additional value to your audience, to show them other businesses they may be interested in, which makes you the hub of the great information. Also, of course, it's going to be lovely if people shout you out. So you could try and encourage your fans to do that. Maybe when they get a product from you, you could encourage them to use the shout out sticker. That's what I'm calling it. I think it's better than share professional, and share the product along with your Instagram account. It's a lot more eye-catching than just putting in kind of the username or screen grabbing from their feed and putting it up on your Instagram. It's a nicer, more straightforward way to share. I like this. Facebook has added a new feature to stories, and it's an interesting one. They're calling it Animate, and it helps you add animations, might make it sound a little bit more exciting than it is. Lets you add movement to still images that you upload. So we've already got, if we're recording, we've got tools like superzoom, and we've got tools like boomerang and other features if we're actually recording into screen. But if we just want to use an image, this is from Matt Navarra, as you can see. This is what you'll be able to do. There's a few different things. You'll be able to pan and zoom, which means if you've got a horizontal image and you want to show it off on Facebook, you'll be able to zoom across it or pan across it, as you can see here. Look, that did it in sync. You'll be able to zoom in to a specific feature that will make it more interesting. And these are all ways that are going to make still images more eye-catching and more interesting in stories. It's unusual, isn't it, that Facebook have done this in Facebook stories? Isn't it a little bit weird? And I'm wondering, every time they do something, I'm wondering, if this is only a tiny bit, a titchy bit, TikTok-y. And I think in many ways, they know that Facebook is the place where they can capture a slightly older audience that would maybe be considering going and looking at TikTok. Don't, it's full of children, but capturing them there and offering similar features. So this is the first. I'm imagining we're going to see a lot more editing and video features from Facebook in the future. I still very rarely remember to use Facebook stories. I'm not doing anything interesting with them, but I do think it is interesting to see that you reach people when you use stories. Not a lot of people, but they're going to be a lot more engaged than the people who scroll past you on the feed. Instagram are introducing, or it looks like they're about to introduce, a feature where you will be able to start a live broadcast in Instagram and simulcast it to Facebook, which is kind of cool, isn't it? Let me get the screen up. Here we go. So just like you can share your Instagram stories to Facebook, it looks like now you'll have that option to simulcast whenever you go live on Instagram. You'll be able to push that out to Facebook. And I suppose in some ways this is a good idea, because your main platform might be Instagram, but there's a lot of users on Facebook that will never touch Instagram. You know, Facebook has a lot more people there. So this is giving you that opportunity to expand your audience. I've never really been a fan, although I do share my Instagram stories to Facebook when I create them, but I've never really been a big fan of sharing the exact same content to two platforms. But in this case, I think it could work, because as long as it's a similar audience with similar interests, I think it could be good. The downside is going to be, of course, that you're reaching extra people, but how are you going to manage comments? How's that going to work? Because if you're in Instagram and there's loads of comments coming in Facebook, will you see that? Will they end up in that horrible big inbox that replicates the same comment 20 times? And I'm just wondering, you know, that would take the shine off this option if people on Facebook you were ignoring because they weren't commenting live on the feed. It's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. It is for business, because you can see in that screenshot if you've got good eyes, you can see at the bottom that it talks about sharing with your fans. So this is for business Instagram accounts. It is for creator Instagram accounts, which is lovely. I love the fact that they're giving us all these new tools recently. Instagram are launching a new camera. In fact, we don't have to wait for this one like all our other news. Instagram have actually launched it. They're rolling it out to some accounts. And I have it on my personal account. I'm so excited. I never get anything first. The new camera, this is for Instagram stories. And this is what it looks like. So you can see instantly that our main navigation has moved over to the left sidebar. Very Snapchatty, isn't it? And which means there's not so much at the bottom for you to scroll through. It's good. Makes it a lot easier to just scroll between going live and stories, which is very handy too. And you've still got your filters there at the bottom. But by giving us this new menu, they're making it a lot easier to navigate. It's good. It's good. This is what you see before you get there. So this is what's changed. Clearer navigation. We've talked about that. Easier access to tools. So in that side menu, you'll actually, their artificial intelligence will work out which features we use the most, and it will reorder the tools on that toolbar to highlight the ones we use the most. They kind of already do this with filters, I think. And that's it. It's not massive change, but I do think it's very interesting. I do think it's going to make it a lot easier for people to quickly create more creative stories. Instead of having to do that thing where you scroll by at the bottom, you'll instantly be able to jump into where you want. Yay or nay? What do you think? You're going to get polls on LinkedIn. And before I show you how they're going to work, let's think about what LinkedIn has been doing recently. It's using the word conversations a lot. If you remember way back, again, 6 weeks ago, I think it was, the San Diego episode, we talked about the fact that LinkedIn are introducing stories. And those stories are called conversations. They've decided, they used the word conversation so many times when they talked about launching that feature. A couple of weeks ago, they launched something else, and it was all about conversations as well. And this is the third one. And I do like polls. This is what they look like, which is just like a Twitter poll, And what I like about this is if you are newish to LinkedIn, or if you haven't been using it a lot, it can be quite frustrating, because you'll go there, you'll see all the people posting things and getting hundreds of comments. So you put up a question. I put up one during the week. Nothing happens. What's nice about a poll, and it works phenomenally well on Facebook, and I imagine it's going to be the same on LinkedIn, is it's not a huge commitment from somebody to just click one of the options on the poll. In fact, it's as quick as clicking a reaction, except they've had to think for a little bit longer to choose the option in the poll. So you're getting them to slowly see your content and engage with you. Better than having somebody to click a reaction. That's fabulous, but you know people are just scrolling through their feed, reacting to stuff without even looking at it. A poll just takes that level of engagement up a little bit more. Why are LinkedIn focusing on this conversation thing? Well, I've been having a think about this. Why would they want more conversation on LinkedIn? Well, more conversation, more engagement means that people are going to stay on there longer, because you don't just go and leave a comment and go. You leave a comment, you go back and you see other people have commented, and you get into a conversation and you stay on the platform longer, don't you? And it means that you're going to connect with more people, because you'll be having conversations with these business people who could be potential clients or potential collaborators, or maybe you need their service. So that's more connections, and more engagements means more time on site, more room in the feed for ads. And that's something I know LinkedIn needs to monetize beyond their paid product. They need ads, but they're very expensive at the moment. The more people they can get onto the platform engaging, the more space they have, the cost will come down, and hopefully it will become more accessible to us all. This is good news if you're a small business who sells stuff online. Google are making Google Shopping free for businesses. What does that mean? What does that mean? Well, if you search for a product on Google, you will know, whether you're on desktop or mobile, that right at the top of the screen, you'll kind of get like this carousel of people that sell that product or something similar to that product. And these are shopping ads. People are paying to appear here at the top of search results. And you can scroll through, you can go and visit the site, and you can buy. Very powerful. But they were ads. You had to pay. Google is now making it free to use Google Shopping if you are a business. And this is good. Why are Google doing this is my number one question. Well, I think that it's because we've seen this surge in sales coming from things like Instagram and Facebook. And we saw a few weeks ago that Pinterest is going all in on e-commerce. That's what they want to become. And this is probably slightly annoying Google, because that's where we used to go to buy things. We used to go to Google. So how do they make their shopping product more enticing, both for people visiting the site and for people who want to sell? Well, firstly, if I'm visiting the site, I want to find the best vendor for that product. I don't want to find a one that sells the most ads. So for me, giving me the best results, which is what Google's supposed to do, will be far better than the placing ads. Secondly, of course, Google want everyone who's getting on this e-commerce action with Pinterest and Instagram and Facebook, they want them back. They want them on their platform. So by giving it for free, of course, they are going to not start charging for these. I don't think that will happen, but they're going to start upselling you. You know, if you spend some money here, just like Facebook does, if you boost this post, you could reach more people. If you buy an ad with us, you could sell more of this product. Whatever the reason, this is good news. If you are in e-commerce, you need to do that. That is all the news for this week. And I'm going to be back. Do tune in to next week's show, because I'm having a chatbot built by the wonderful Sasha Lydiard at Think Outside the Bot. We're going to test it here next week. So I need your help. So come back, same bat time, same bat place next week. Have a great one. Bye-bye.